Woe to you, O earth and sea.
It's the Hop Nation
USA Podcast.
Welcome back, everybody, to episode 152 of the Hop Nation USA Podcast. I am one of your hosts, Adam. With me, of course, is Steve. Steve is got his little spinny disc going here on the Zoom meeting. Steve, how are you?
I'm good. I have my spinny disc going, but we will soon transfer over to the Wizard of Oz Zordon. This is
go to the Hypno Steve.
Right. Yeah. This is just up so people know what show they're watching.
That way they know they didn't click into the wrong thing.
Right.
Smart. So there are some other voices that you hear. We are not just speaking into the wind. We have our guest host, Kelsey, back.
Hello.
Kelsey, how are you doing?
I'm okay, hanging in during quarantine, you know. Thanks for having me on tonight.
Happy to have you here. It's been a while.
It has.
I think you were one of the last guest hosts to actually do a face-to-face podcast with us before we went into Shutdown City.
You know, I think we definitely got the last one in, like, barely.
Yeah, we squeezed that one in.
Yeah.
So, all right, I'm glad to have you here. And we have a fourth member here. This is the first time we've done this in quarantine, so this is going to be interesting. I have no idea who you are. Anthony, who the hell are you?
I am Anthony, and I do a podcast called They Call This a Movie, where we watch terrible movies. So we're talking about a terrible TV show, so Steve asked me on because it kind of crosses over.
Right on. Well, welcome to the show.
I'm into it. Welcome.
Yeah.
Happy to have you here.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah, just for some background, Anthony and I did go to college together, so we had a lot of background in bad movie watching.
Nice.
Yep.
And I figured he was one of the best people to invite on to help watch this shitty show, as also Anthony is a craft beer fan as well.
Yes.
Right on.
Perfect.
Let's say I thought you guys were friends. Why would you subject him to that show?
I subject you and Kelsey to this show as well.
I know. Yeah.
It's true. I had to watch all 3 episodes today because I hadn't started it yet, and I'm like, okay.
Yeah,
we'll
get into that.
I wound up watching the 4th one today, too.
Ooh.
I started the 4th one, then I was like, no, I don't want to spoil anything for next week. I got to stop myself. But Anthony, maybe we can talk like when we're not recording for this about the 4th one so far.
Well, we'll get into all that in the second segment. But for now, let's get into what everybody's drinking tonight.
Okay.
And let's start with Anthony. He's our guest.
Yeah.
Yes.
I am drinking a Cape May Brewery Crushing It, which is an orange IPA.
Oh, very nice.
This is the last of the non-seasonal stuff I have in my fridge before I have to go to the liquor store. So if I don't tomorrow, then it's like pumpkin beers, which is going to be weird in this time.
I can attest to that. I had one on the show last week, so I know everything that you're talking about. It's not great.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. But luckily, I am in New Jersey where liquor stores are essential personnel, so.
Good. Glad to hear that you have access.
Yeah.
Yeah, New Jersey's super smart like that. They also attach their liquor stores to Dunkin' Donuts at some locations, which I thoroughly enjoy.
Yes,
What?
there's one near us.
Yes.
That's fantastic.
Now, Anthony, where in New Jersey are you located?
In Mount Laurel, so South Jersey, about half hour, 45 minutes from Philly.
My husband's from Morristown, so like right in that area. Oh my gosh.
Where I got married.
Oh, no way.
There you go.
Lovely.
Well, Kelsey,
Sorry,
what are you drinking tonight?
Well,
Aside from cat hair.
Sorry, guys. A special guest, Moose Shoes, here this evening. I'm drinking a bifocal feline American ale from Dancing Gnome here in Pittsburgh.
Right on.
Yeah, delicious. One of my faves. And it's appropriate that my cat's here joining me.
Indeed.
Well, at least the back half is joining.
You know, I'm trying to get her off the table, guys.
So, Steve, what are you drinking?
Well, obviously, if you're watching us on the internet, on YouTube, you can see that I've brought up a photo of my Saucy Uber ASAP, which is a blood orange and vanilla IPA. It's really good. I'm usually not a fan of blood orange IPAs because I don't know, they tend to be too bitter. Like the blood orange doesn't really add anything for me. But this one is actually really bright and it's a little bit sweet because of the vanilla. So
it's delicious.
Is it a bitter hop or a soft hop like a New England, or what direction IPA does it go?
Oh no, it's still too bitter for you.
Oh,
But,
okay.
yeah, it's still way too bitter for you, but it is a lot sweeter than I usually find with blood orange IPAs.
Right on. So for me, I have a beer that I like that I know, Steve, you would not like. It's the D9 Whiskers on Kittens. This is from North Carolina, and it's a sour blonde ale. Oh boy, this thing is sour.
Is it?
It is. It is. You would not like this whatsoever, Steve.
Cool.
Yeah.
Good.
That sounds terrible, Adam. I'm sorry.
Glad I did not take one.
Yeah, it's this is me continuing the quest of emptying out the beer fridge before I'm able to go out and buy more. And this is pretty much the last one before I get into the IPAs that I don't want to drink and the 13% beers that I only want to drink on the weekends because I want to go to work the next day.
Mm-hmm.
So it's gonna get interesting real quick.
But like work, like you don't actually have to go to work. You can just work from your table. So
That's very true.
or your office.
And hopefully I don't have many video conferences that morning. I won't have to worry about it that much.
There you go.
But as long as I have a shirt on, I'll be fine.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, if you're getting low on your reserves, I actually have a bit of good news for us in PA. Sorry, Anthony. We don't mean to exclude you on this one. You can make the drive if you want, but
It's not that far.
yeah. Alter Genius in Ambridge is finally getting something of an opening.
Are they really?
Yeah. So originally they were supposed to open last weekend, but they obviously were forced not to. They, no regular release last weekend. What they're doing this weekend is they're testing online ordering with their friends and family. And if it works out, then May 7th, they'll start curbside growler pickup.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Nice.
And they'll be offering a New England IPA, a West Coast IPA, and a chocolate fudge stout.
I know which one I'm getting.
Well, yeah, I know which one you're getting to.
That's an easy choice.
Yeah. But yeah, just a little bit of good news because I felt really bad because they were so close to opening up and then shutdown happened.
Mm-hmm.
And so, but they're actually finding a way to get their beer out. So maybe possibly, since they're pretty close to me, I'll go check them out and see if I can get some chocolate fudge myself.
Yeah, I have a hunch I'm going to have to make a weekend trip. If nothing else, to get out of the house.
Right.
I might have to break my rule of emptying the beer fridge, but I'm okay with that for Alter Genius. I'll support them first before I go support other people.
Right. Yeah. So
it's going to be an expensive weekend
Oh, for sure.
because I'm just going to go everywhere.
Well, I found out I'm getting my stimulus check, so
Nice.
Game on.
Nice.
so, but yes, just go to altergenius.com if their online ordering goes through, and you should be able to get in line maybe. But
Excellent.
yeah, that's May 7th. We'll bring it back up next week if something changes. But other than that, I just wanted to bring that up as a little bit of news for the week.
Nice.
The other thing I wanted to talk about this week is the emergence of drinking games. I'm sure we've all seen a good bit of drinking games occur across the internet.
Yes.
I've seen a lot of beer pong variations.
Yes.
Some people are getting very creative with what they're doing.
Yeah. So one of my favorites I've seen so far is the solo game.
The solo game.
The
All right,
solo game.
I have not seen this one.
Okay.
What is this?
So for
What is this?
So for the audio listeners, and obviously for people even looking at the visual aid, a woman has taped 5 red Solo cups to her sweater, and she's standing in front of a mirror, and then she bounces the ping pong balls off the mirror into her solo cups and then drinks them as she makes them.
Oh, that is great.
So far, that is my favorite variation on the beer pong.
It's like solitaire for beer pong.
Yeah.
Playing
really
against
is.
yourself.
My God,
And there
that's
are
amazing.
you're both winning and losing at the same time.
Yeah.
That just reminds me of Forrest Gump whenever he played with half the ping pong table.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fantastic. I like the variation that has come out with the tic-tac-toe flip cup beer pong combination.
Yeah, the 3 games in one.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, that's a good one. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I've seen this, yeah.
Yeah. So, this one is like basically you got to bounce a ball into the cup, flip it, and then once you do the flip cup part, then you get to play tic-tac-toe. I've seen it done with a bunch of red solo cups. I think you need to differentiate between red and blue, maybe.
Yeah.
I think on the bottom they had like an initial of like whose
Maybe
cup
X's
was
and O's.
whom,
Right.
Okay.
or like an X and O type of situation. I know it's not. I've seen it during quarantine. I've seen it not during quarantine, where you duct tape the beer to the garage door opener or to the garage door, and you open the garage door. So as the garage door goes up, the beer starts pouring, and you start chugging it as you walk backwards.
I saw a couple old people do that, and that one was pretty impressive.
Yeah, and I was like, ooh, goals. I mean, we played like up the river, down the river over Zoom, like with someone just having the camera over top of, the cards, like the table, and like just knowing what order you go in. I mean, I've done a power hour with some friends over Zoom already. Like one computer just plays the power hour mix. So that's been really fun. Plus it's like you can kind of see, or like we've all queued it up on our on YouTube on our TV to all start at the same time. So you can kind of see who's maybe like a little behind everyone else based on when they go to cheers you. That's been fun.
Another one that I've seen is a variation on the classic beer pong, where if somebody has a balcony that's right next to somebody else, say you have an apartment complex or a townhouse has a whole bunch of porches or decks that are next to each other, you just set up a little table on each porch. That way you don't leave your own house, but you can still play beer pong over the railing.
Right. Yeah, that's
that
clever.
would
Good one.
that would definitely work in like college dorms for sure.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, it might be a little far to my neighbor's deck, but like I'm up for the challenge. So, another one that I thought of, but I haven't figured out the logistics yet, is doing Battleship, but like battle shot.
Oh, now that'd be interesting. You need a referee for that almost.
Yeah, that's why I'm still working through the logistics, but I'm gonna try by the end of quarantine to get this up and running somehow with some people and see how it goes.
Patent pending.
Patent pending. But like, I mean, you've played battle shots before, like 2 pizza boxes back to back and your shot glasses, but like, obviously they don't need to be shots of liquor. They could just be shots of beer, or like, you don't even have to do it. You could just be like taking a sip of your beer,
Mm-hmm.
So still working through the logistics of that one.
One thing that I've started doing now that we've started the shutdown is all the bar trivia has moved online.
Oh, yeah.
There's a lot of Facebook Lives. I think it's Buzzworthy has gone exclusively online. They do it every Wednesday and Saturday. So what myself and a couple of friends will do is we'll fire up the old Zoom, and we'll get Zoom on one half of the screen and the Facebook Live on the other half of the screen, and we'll just play some old-fashioned bar trivia.
That's a great idea.
It's cool. Yeah.
My friends and I, we've done a lot of like the Jackbox TV games that they have. Those are really fun. Obviously, we somehow turned them into a drinking game, but like even if you didn't want to drink or you just like wanted to hang out with a bunch of people, they are so fun.
Yeah, they're great.
Yeah.
Have you been getting into any of that, Anthony? Playing Jackbox and drinking games?
We did Jackbox. It was more of like, let's Jackbox and drink, not so much take a game of it out of it. But yeah, that's like the only one we've done. My wife and I, we've just been like, the drinking game has been like, let's drink. Let's put 2.5 shots of tequila into something and drink. So it's been great.
I've definitely played I'll drink alone and just wait for the daylight to come.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of hours in the day.
You got to fill them somehow.
Yeah.
I've changed a lot. I've done a lot of baking.
Same here. I still haven't gotten into the pies, though. I haven't gotten into pie territory. But
All right.
definitely, the cakes and the brownies are on point by this point in time.
All right.
So far, the only drinking game, but it's not even a drinking game, it's just First Sip Brewbox and our friends at a little beer tasting hosted a bingo night.
Oh, I did see that.
Yeah, we did bingo. I just got drunk playing that, but
I mean, how else are you supposed to play bingo?
Yeah,
Right.
what else? Isn't that how that goes? Like,
Yeah.
bingo?
yeah, but I mean, there's no rules to it. It's just bingo and then drinking.
True.
So was that well attended? Were there many people there?
There's a good number of people. Like I said, it was like it was me and then Bubba and his wife and then his sisters were there, and then there's probably about 6 other people that weren't First Sip and a little tasting members. So yeah,
Sounds like a pretty good turnout.
yeah, it was a pretty decent turnout.
Nice.
They're planning to do another one in May, so I'll be sure to remind all you guys.
All right.
Perfect.
And then they gave away a decent number of prizes. So yeah, this is like
Cool.
gift cards for Patrick's Pub. So
If and when we can get back there.
well, you can get there now and get Sandoz to take away.
It's too far
Red
to go get
Rubens.
a Sando to take away, though.
It's not the same.
It's
I
too
still would.
far.
Everything's far for me, so I still would.
Welcome to the woods life.
Right on. So, how else are you keeping busy, Anthony? Is there any like video games or anything that people should be aware of?
So I have been playing video games. So I skipped like an entire generation and a half of video games. So like anywhere between 2008 to like 2015, I didn't play any video games. So I'm going back. And I started Skyrim, which is an enormous time suck. Especially for me, because it took me 160 hours to finish Red Dead Redemption 2. I get really sucked into the side missions and just doing nothing for 2-3 hours. So this could be like, this might break 200 hours. I don't even know what the main storyline is, because I'm just doing like, oh, well, I'm close to this. I'll do this side mission. It's like, I think this is the main story, but yeah. So Skyrim is kind of that for me right now.
Right on. I was just asking because I know you guys, you at the main Damie, you have your Twitch channel as well.
Yeah.
So I didn't know if you or any of your cohorts have been playing on there.
So that's not my thing. These guys, they run the Game Vault podcast, which I've been on once, but I let them do their thing. So they've been doing Wednesdays on their Twitch channel. They've been Jen has been playing not the remake, but the original Final Fantasy VII.
Oh,
And
okay.
then she's doing Friday. I think she's had some computer issues, so she hasn't been on in a while. And then Friday she does Dead by Daylight. And I started doing a Stardew Valley like chill stream that they call it on Sunday mornings. Just kind of doing a nice, calm, relaxing game. Stardew Valley. Yeah. But those guys are the video game guys. I am a casual, as they'd call me.
Right on. I didn't know how much you jumped on that, but I know that's all under the same umbrella for you guys. under the
It's
main Damie,
the
so.
family of network, the family of podcasts, the Game Vault podcast. Yeah.
Right on.
Every other Monday. So I'll give them a shout out.
Thanks.
Cool.
Yeah, we can definitely tag them on whatever it is that we're doing.
Yeah.
Twitter?
Anthony, for you don't know, Adam is our local grandpa who does not understand.
Yeah, we got one of those too.
Yeah, so,
Every podcast group needs one of those. Like,
yes.
to really root everyone.
Every podcast has grandpa.
Yes.
Every podcast.
I was willing to take that role on.
Thanks, Adam. That's so nice of you.
Happy to help.
What have you guys been doing to get through this?
Baking and drinking. That's about it.
I learned a little bit of Blender and then found video games. So stop learning Blender.
Yeah.
Lots of Netflix, Hulu, baking, cleaning.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm going to start Duolingo Spanish up again. Maybe learn a language.
Yeah.
You know,
Interesting.
trying to stay active too, doing some yoga in the living room.
That's good. There's a while where I was just watching old wrestling pay-per-views. It was like a good 2 to 3 weeks that I was watching like WrestleMania 9, 9 and 10.
Throwback.
I'm pretty sure you're in the same boat as our buddy Jason Sircone, who pretty much just turned on the network and would watch old pay-per-views and all that.
That was back when I watched it. Like I haven't watched it in I guess 25 years, but
Yeah.
like the last pay-per-view I remember, I think it was Survivor Series of '94, I guess.
Yeah.
Oh, you got some catching up to do.
Yeah, I did watch the new WrestleMania, which was interesting, but
Yeah, that was an interesting experience, but
it was like watching dress rehearsals all but for 2 matches, and
Right.
one wasn't really a match.
and then the two that weren't dress rehearsals were like Universal Studio stunt shows.
Yeah, the Bray Wyatt thing. It was a cool promo. Like it was a
Right.
very long promo that they cut. It was kind of cool, but it's not a match.
No. This reference is probably going to be lost on everybody, but I'll try it out anyway. Does anybody remember WMCA Masters, which was it was a martial arts show that was on like Fox Saturday mornings after the cartoons?
No, you've got me.
Yeah, okay. So it was hosted by Brenda Lee, who is Bruce Lee's daughter. And there was a bunch of just karate guys who would fight, quote, quote, but they wouldn't actually fight. It was just like a stunt show that they put on every Saturday morning, and it was very much like wrestling, but they fought like fake ninjas and stuff. And a lot of the guys that were on that show also wound up being in the original Mortal Kombat movie. So there's your weird deep dive trivia.
Not sure what I'm going to do with that information.
I'm going to share
glad that I have it now.
information.
I've got the Wikipedia up on now, and I've never heard of it. 95 through 97. So that would have been in my wheelhouse.
Yeah.
10 to 12. So
And that's why I tried it. I tried it because it was, it was in our age range, and if you remember that stuff, that was exactly what the WrestleMania matches were like too. So,
yeah.
Yeah.
What channel would it have been on? Like
it was on Fox. It was on Fox.
Wow.
Yeah, it was on Fox. It was after the cartoons ran. Then it was time that they could like fiddle and put something a little more adult on, which was this karate show.
Interesting.
Interesting.
I had no idea.
Yeah, no.
Now you
Glad
know.
I got out of bed today.
I'm glad I could serve your.
I'm going to file that one away. That might come in handy one of these days.
Weird trivia.
If that comes up in the next trivia session, Steve, I owe you a beer. That's all there is to it.
Fair enough. Well, speaking of beer,
just to put a cap on that, I think you can watch the entire first season on Netflix.
sure.
WMAC Masters,
Yeah.
6.5 hours.
Yeah, there you go.
Season 1.
It's a
There you
point.
go.
There's a point system. There is a storyline to it. Check it out.
All right.
But yeah. Speaking of beer, though, let's get back into what everybody's drinking. How's everybody's beer treating them?
Well,
So
for
far,
me,
so
now
good.
that it's settled down and it's not spraying out of the bottle like it first did, it's a heck of a lot better. It's good. Would drink it again.
Right on. Mine's all cleaned up. I'm done. It's I would drink again, but I don't think I'm going to go to Ohio for my next beer run. So,
So
might
will
be
Ohio even sell to you for your next beer run at this point?
yes, Ohio will still sell beer. We went through this last week. But
Oh, sorry.
well, no, it's okay. It might have been 2 weeks ago, but we went through it 2 weeks ago. But the liquor they won't sell to you, but the beer is in a giant eagle, so they still sell it to you.
Got it.
Yeah.
Is this just for out-of-staters?
Yeah, for out of PA, any county on the border of Ohio and PA stopped selling liquor to PA out-of-state residents because PA shut down the liquor stores. But our liquor stores have opened back up, sort of, and to the point that I was able to get a bottle. So I'm all right. I don't care.
You got yours.
Anthony, how's your beer?
It was good. It's done. But no, it was good. It's pretty light IPA. It's really not too bitter. Would drink again. Like my father-in-law was saying that he was expecting this and he was hoping to get a case. So I brought a couple over last weekend. So he's got the other two.
Right on.
So now I'm regretting bringing them over because this was the last of the non-pumpkins. I think my wife has some cranberry shandies from Cape May Brewery, so I might maybe pop one of those. The
I
Bogs.
love the cranberry shandy from Cape May Brewing.
Yeah, they're pretty good.
Love it.
Well, Kelsey, how was your dancing gnome?
Dancing Gnome is treating me well, just about halfway through it. So just taking my time with it. Just so good. Yeah.
Right on. Well, we're going to take a break and come back with segment 2, and then we'll get into Brews Brothers episode 3. And a lot of people, for the audio listeners, a lot of people just shook their heads really hard. So we'll come back right after this.
Welcome back, everybody. Hop Nation USA is here in your ear, possibly in your face, for the 152nd time. If you only listen to one episode each episode once, whatever. Listen to us again. I'm Adam. That's Steve. Kelsey's with us. Anthony's with us as well.
Yes.
It's pretty dope.
Yes.
Party.
It is.
Indeed.
Steve, do you have a new beer going?
I do have a new beer.
Nice.
I will bring up a picture of it for the video watchers on the YouTube.
Yes. Go watch it on the YouTube. You get to go see Steve's floating head.
Double dip. Double dip for us, please. But what I'm drinking now is the Mud Puppy Porter from Central Waters, and they're out of Amherst, Wisconsin.
Oh, is that a vintage purchase?
No, it's actually not a vintage purchase. Yeah, it's just a regular old giant eagle mix and mash.
Wow.
Yeah. I'll tell you
It
what.
looks delicious.
It's pretty good. I'll say that. It's not Lincoln Avenue Porter good, if anybody's had that. Yeah. But it's pretty damn good as a porters go. It's a little chocolatey and it's a little roasty, and it's overall just easy drinking. So I'm in for it.
Nice.
Nice.
Anthony, you got a fresh one in the chamber?
Yes, I totally lied on the last segment. I found 3 Goose Island IPAs that I haven't drank yet. So those, I promise you, those are the last before I'm going to start stealing my wife's Bogs.
Nice. Kelsey, what do you got going on?
Well, I'm still rolling with the bifocal feline. I think it's going to be a 1 beer night for me.
That's fair.
Thank you. Thank you.
Myself, I'm still operating with the D9 Whiskers on Kittens, but I do have an Anchor Steam on backup just in case.
You were supposed to drink that last week, too.
Oh, I know.
Okay.
It's going to be the perpetual backup beer that Adam will just have for every episode. It's like, for my backup beer, it's going to be this Anchored Steam.
Always a bridesmaid.
That's right.
Never enjoyed.
Maybe I'll for its send off. Maybe I'll have it as a Saturday night beer. It'll be a Saturday night special.
Or
it's
maybe
like I was gonna say it's like when Kimmel ended his shows with apologies to Matt Damon. Apologies to this beer I haven't drank you.
Sorry, I couldn't get you on the show tonight.
Yeah, maybe next week.
I'm saying at this point you can't send it off on a Saturday. It has to be on the show now because you've teased it twice.
That's true. That's true.
You're gonna make 2 listeners upset.
So you and me?
Me and probably like Katie.
All right.
And me.
Kelsey? Oh, say 3.
Yeah.
All right.
Throw me in there.
3 in.
That's why our numbers are up.
You're welcome.
And speaking of 3, it is time to talk about episode 3 of that show that Steve is making us watch,
Boof.
Brews Brothers,
Boof.
the Netflix juggernaut.
Boof.
Who wants to start?
Well, I would say I'm going to start it this way.
Okay.
Because we haven't really done a recap of the past episode in the past, and just so all our listeners are on board. So the first episode is Adam is a brewer, and he comes back to help his brother run the brewery Rodman's in Van Nuys, California. Adam is insufferable, and everybody hates him. And nobody else likes the other characters either. There's a lot of there's a lot of cum jokes in it, and that episode isn't funny. Episode 2, same thing, but there's pee jokes. Episode 3, they are tasked with bringing in new clients and customers, and they're going to do it by way of brewery tour. And that's pretty much all you need to know about episode 3 is they try to get customers through brewery tours. Still didn't laugh.
Still didn't like it.
I think a lot of my watching it was like, wait, did I hear that correctly? Is that what they did? Like, am I watching this? Like, what is happening?
Yeah.
Who decided that this was a good idea to write it into the script and then execute?
A lot of dick jokes in episode 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of bodily fluid jokes, like through the first 3 episodes.
Yeah, it's all cum and pee through the first 3 episodes.
Yeah. Like, I mean, the whole second episode is literally all about pee.
Yeah.
No, thank you. That's not what I need to relax with.
Well, it's not so much that it's relaxing or whatever, but if it doesn't make you laugh,
Right.
because I mean, currently the dick joke I have up on the screen right now was telegraphed, and Adam, you and I talked about this, before we did the show. But like this show or this joke took so long, but you saw it coming like a mile away.
Yeah, so you essentially took a minute or two just to sit through it and wait for it to be over.
Yeah.
It was filler that was unnecessary and unfunny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was pointless.
Yeah, it was very pointless. Is there so through the 3 episodes, obviously we've talked about this already, but with the influences of League and Always Sunny, have you guys found more character depth between the characters? Okay.
I found each of them more and more insufferable as the episode went along.
I don't know. I feel like on episode, I'm going to be the optimist here. I feel like on episode 3, like towards the end, like there was like starting to be a cohesiveness minus Adam because he's annoying and I want to punch him in the face.
Yes.
I don't. But like the other ones, I kind of feel like, things were starting to come together a little bit for them. And like, we were starting to learn a little more about each of them, but like barely. I feel like I need more this already.
So it
or more
seems like
backstory.
Huey is trying to be the taco character.
Yeah.
But it's instead of just being kind of out there, he's just lazy.
Yeah, he's like a bad embodiment of like a lot of Latino generalizations and stereotypes.
And he insinuates that he sexually abused a dog in this 3rd episode.
Yes.
Yes,
that I have a problem with.
It's not
it was a
great.
lizard. It was a lizard.
Yeah.
But he insinuated you could also do the same thing with the dog.
A dog. Yeah.
Yes, he was encouraging Sarah, I believe, to do that.
Yeah.
But then at the same time said he did have a lizard like his asshole with peanut butter.
Yep.
So yeah. None of them are really great people, and that's okay because I mean we've seen that with Seinfeld and Always Sunny, It's just like they're not. I don't know. They're not enjoyable. You don't root for them for the most part. I think right now I'm sort of okay with Sarah, but
yes, she is the most tolerable of the recurring characters.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
It seems like there's either no redeeming qualities that you want them to win, but on the other hand, there's no comeuppance. It seems like they're just floundering around, but they don't learn anything. They just fail.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But there's
Sorry.
I was going to say, but the thing is, there's no satisfaction in that failure.
Yeah.
To me, I don't get any satisfaction in any of the failures. It's just, all right, they screwed up. Now we move on to the next thing.
Mm-hmm.
Great.
Yeah. One lighthearted part of episode 3 that I found was when they go to the upscale, private, exclusive sex toy purveyors next door.
Right.
Wait, what did they call it? It was a sex...
It was called Carnal.
Yes.
I believe.
Carnal.
Yeah.
Yes. For all their A-list clientele. That was kind of funny.
Mm-hmm.
With that one woman that's like in every single commercial ever.
Yes. Yes.
She played Bradley Cooper's wife in The Hangover, but she's like in every single commercial. Oh, she is.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This one. Yeah, the blonde.
Yes. And it's like, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't completely... I didn't dislike them. It's just like they didn't... Because the main characters were still unfunny and didn't add anything, it just I don't know if I'm supposed to, you know.
Yeah.
I don't know
What am I getting out of this?
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like I don't know if it's trying too hard to be the league or like trying too hard to be like It's Always Sunny and just falling flat instead of just letting it happen. But I just feel like even the league is great. Love the league. But I don't know. I just feel like all of that main cast like gelled more like cohesively as a group, even from like the early onset of the show. Same with Always Sunny. So I don't know. Maybe they need another character to round it out. Maybe that's coming. I don't know.
I think I need to do a little more research into the actual production of the show, but we obviously keep drawing these two parallels. And The League and Always Sunny are both heavily improv'd. And as Kelsey, as you were saying, those casts were very close with each other. Like Paul Scheer and June Diane Raphael was on the show for a little bit as, you know, a crazy nurse. And, you know, Jason Mantzoukas, obviously, they're all tied together.
Right.
And, like, the fact that, like, they don't have the same repertoire, you know, between each other makes me believe that this show is more heavily scripted, because it seems like the jokes are heavily telegraphed, but when they film them, it's like, oh, this joke should have been done. Like, it should have been over. So, I don't think this is as improv, and I don't think the actors, because, I mean, I've looked into some of the actors, and, like, the girl who plays Sarah, she has, like, 3 credits. I think I have more IMDb credits.
Yeah. And I know one of the series directors is Jeff Schaefer, who co-created The League. And I'm guessing the creator of this is his brother, Greg. So that's where the pedigree from The League comes from. But there's just something missing. Honestly, when you first told me that you guys were doing this, I thought it was a reality show. I thought we were gonna watch. I thought we were gonna watch like Property Brothers, but they're brothers that run a brewery.
I'm with Anthony though. Like when I heard that you guys were doing this and you had said, you know, this was happening, I was like, is this a reality show? Like, are people brewing against it? Like, what is happening? And I got excited because I thought it was reality based.
Yeah.
Well, now that I hear that, I think I'd rather watch that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, probably. That probably would be way better, because they would just find some of the most, like, as much of a dickhead as Adam is on this show, and like Wilhelm is kind of a schlub, I guarantee there are worse people in actual brewing than the two of them.
It seems like they got the blueprint of It's Always Sunny and the League. We're going to use that comparison, but they just, for whatever reason, it's just not, translating to this. I don't know if maybe it's the actors, maybe it's their talent, maybe it just comes down to the writing. It's just they're just not writing funny jokes. But like It's Always Sunny has much more reprehensible characters than this Adam guy.
Mm-hmm.
But like Dennis is the most unlikable person ever in the history of television.
Yes.
But he's so enjoyable to watch, and maybe it's just that performance.
Maybe.
And maybe it's just the writing of it's like maybe there's just something of they're trying to hedge their bets a little bit here, where they're trying to do that, but also kind of make everybody not 100% unlikable. They're trying to hedge that bet. Like, oh, well, we want Adam to just he's an asshole, but he's, at the end of the day, his heart's in the right place. But, Dennis's heart was never in the right place in any aspect. It's a completely narcissistic sociopath. And maybe that's what this show is missing, is that if you're gonna go that way, you got to go 100%, or else it's just going to be a bland 4.9 on IMDb. Mm-hmm. Like right in the middle.
I would say that from a business standpoint, I'd have fired every single one of these people by now.
Yeah.
Every single one of them.
Absolutely. Like, I love how, like, in the opening scene, they're at, like, this super successful brewery, and, like, we have all been to breweries like that where it's, packed, fun games, like, good variety of beer. But then it just is like, well, I don't want my brewery to be this. And it's like, Adam, what are you doing? Yeah. Like, you want to, like, brew the snobbiest beer possible that no one's going to be able to afford. And it's like, but why? Like, what's your driving force to take it to such an extreme of brewing?
Yeah, they haven't defined his goals. It's just he's negative against everything.
Right.
Because again, back to that opening scene, they're talking about I think Wilhelm was drinking an avocado beer.
Yeah.
But then...
And he's like, here, try this. It goes down like water. And he's like, it is water.
Yeah. And it goes down like shit.
Shit, yeah.
Yeah.
And then he's like, I brought my own beer. Like, people wouldn't know what this... It's like, okay, like, maybe it's the elitist attitude of this character, or, like, the way the actor's portraying it, like, as such an elitist, like a beer elitist. Then I'm just like, you ruin every scene you're in.
Yeah. Yeah.
You suck everything out of the scene that you're in, and I'm like, I can't take it.
I mean, if you're looking to play like a beer snob and an elitist, like, he's doing it great.
Yeah.
But he doesn't see, like, without a goal, it doesn't have, I don't know, it doesn't have any weight, because it's just kind of like nihilistic in a way. Because he's just going to poo-poo everything. Because, like, even later on in the episode, he says, I'm brewing a truffle-infused beer. Well, what makes that different from the avocado beer? Because you obviously don't have the same rules, or you have a hypocrisy about the rules as far as, like, adjuncts and things in your beer, so it doesn't make any sense.
Right.
Like, he's not for beer purity. He's not for... a certain style of beer.
What does he stand for here?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right. No one knows.
He just says good beer, but he doesn't ever. Does he ever establish what he says is a good beer?
His beer, and that's it.
His beer.
Yeah.
And the fact that I think his brother keeps, like, just beating him in that, it's like, I mean, that's obvious from episode 1. So.
And that's a good conflict that Wilhelm always tops him with his, mass market kind of, whatever beer. But Wilhelm also has training from Trappist monks, so he has some sort of purity laws behind him. So it does, again, it just doesn't make a lot of sense as to why, like, why Adam is the way he is.
Why are you the way that you are?
Except for that he's a Cicerone.
Cicerone!
I'll admit, I did enjoy that part a little bit.
Yes.
I
almost could see that catching on.
Yeah, I cracked a smile. I didn't laugh, but I did crack a smile at that.
The problem with what's going to happen there is people are going to do that ironically, and then they're going to do it so much that they're going to start doing it unironically.
Right.
Sure.
And then it's just going to become a thing.
Yeah. I think the one time I've laughed while watching the first 3 episodes was a moment in episode 2, and it's just because it was so bleak and it was just like overlooked. It was the kid blackmails them into giving them a founding membership, and then they show he meets like the other guys that are the founders, quote unquote. And that they've gained like 50 pounds in like 3 or 4 months. And the one guy has just like an offhanded comment is like, better stock up on insulin.
Yeah, you better buy some bigger pants.
And I was just like, wow, that's a bleak joke. But that kind of made me laugh a little bit.
Yeah, but then they added another founder in the 3rd episode just to get on the beer tour.
Right. And I kind of appreciate like that part of the writing is that they do keep some things going.
Yeah.
Like with the Founders Club. And I don't know if anybody caught it, but like the hobo that was taking the shit in episode 1 came back and gave Willem his shoes back in this episode.
Are you talking about Artie, the strongest man in the world?
Yes.
Completely underused.
Totally. Because as Big Mike on Reno 911, he was one of the funniest fucking characters.
Yeah.
In this show, it's he's
and his
so
his
underused.
one episode turn as the Wiz in Seinfeld.
Wait a minute, that guy's the Wiz?
Wait, what?
Yeah. Nobody beats him.
Oh.
I had no idea.
Wiz. Yeah. He's also Artie, the strongest man in the world.
Holy
From
shit.
Pete and Pete.
Oh my gosh. This is my world.
I'm really glad.
Wow.
I'm really glad I got out of bed this morning.
Can we also talk about the lack of hygiene from the food truck?
I
Yeah.
can't.
Yeah.
Grosses me out so much.
I can't. I can't.
Yeah. Yeah. If we already established that, like, we hate Adam as a character, but I still think Becky and Elvis, the food truck operators, are the worst characters in this show.
Oh,
Yeah.
I can't with them.
They're intolerable.
They're like
So gross.
uber hippies. I don't even know what to classify them as.
I think they're trying to I think they're trying to make fun of like just general Los Angelites.
Yeah. Just that
Los
whole
Angelinos.
crunchy vibe.
Right.
Yeah. Ugh. They're just disgusting.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah, but they're just overall gross.
Ugh.
Of like constantly having sex in the food truck, shitting in the food truck, delivering food that has probably shit on the hands.
Oh, yeah. They're not washing their hands during the pandemic.
Right.
Oh, definitely not. They're not staying 6 feet apart.
No.
Solving most of their problems with probably crystals and other essential oils.
Now I'm starting to think about just the smell of the truck.
Oh,
Oh no! Why?
Especially in this scene right here.
it smells like Rubens, but they don't serve Rubens.
Yeah.
So thanks for ruining Rubens for the next 48 hours for me.
Yeah, you said you weren't going to Patrick's anyway.
But when I went to the store, I bought stuff to make Rubens.
Oh, okay. Right on.
So that'll be next week's dinner.
Saturday.
I can have it with my Anchorstein.
Yeah, there you go.
The show has gotten better, but it has not gotten good.
No.
Yeah.
No.
It was total background noise, but I wasn't actively mad the way I was with the first 2 episodes.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, the second episode was so abysmal with everything being pee related. It was just so obnoxious.
Definitely was doing other stuff.
Yeah,
while
it's a
that
very
was on.
rough. It's a very rough pilot. And it's a very one-note second episode, and then you got Steve. I was in 9/11. Ranasazi in there, so it's like that part of it. The third episode's not terrible. The fourth episode, I'd even say, is better than this one.
I would. Having started episode 4, I would say it's better than this one.
Okay.
That gives me hope.
We've heard from previous guests that it does get better as it goes on. So
yeah,
but Yeah, we're on a strict 1 episode a week diet, and that's pretty much all I can stomach.
Yeah.
I honestly would have guessed that this was either created by someone that owned a brewery or starred a guy that like owned a brewery, just because of how often they talk about like Adam's dick just felt like a very narcissistic, self-serving thing.
Mm-hmm.
That I thought it would have been like, oh, this guy Adam is the creator of the show. He's spending 2 episodes talking about his dick in terms of how he tantrically edges himself and then pees and drink.
Yeah.
I mean, so like completely something that somebody like, I can't even think. That sounds like something like a Neil Breen would do.
Yeah. If it was more of a vanity project like that, though, he would have already taken the food truck girl away from her husband.
Sure. Yeah.
So, yeah.
I mean, like that's the one thing about their storyline is like she's gorgeous, but she's reprehensible.
Right. Yeah, it's a real like dichotomy of like but
yeah, it's just like, wow, you've managed to make this girl 100% unattractive.
But like, will he succeed in wooing her in the next 5 episodes?
That's the thing.
I'm
I don't think
curious.
anybody cares.
It feels so forced. Yeah. It's just like an added thing. Well, like we can't make Adam look like a complete asexual. I don't know. So we got to give him some sort of, and it's a goal. It's like the only goal he has is this one thing they touch upon once per episode 2 and episode 3. I don't even remember it being in episode 4.
Yeah, it's a serious case of the not gays because of all the suspenders and scarves he walks around with. So they have to make it
hot, Steve.
Whatevs. They have to make it very clear that he's hetero. So he, goes after women despite dressing the way he does and acting the way he does. Because he's very swishy and gets beaten up by Sarah, and so they have to make it clear that he's hetero, though.
Yeah, I think he'd be more interesting if he was gay, though.
I think it'd be more interesting if he had a goal. Like,
like dreams and aspirations are attractive too.
Yeah, or if he just opened another brewery again across the street, that would.
Right.
Honestly, if he was something like if he was part of the members or the founders, and he just showed up for like 2 minutes in an episode, he could throw his zingers in there, and then he was gone again. I think it'd be. I think the character would be a lot more palatable. Mm-hmm. But there's just so much of this narcissism and negativity shoved in there that it doesn't work.
No.
Yeah. I think part of it is that his goal is that he wants to make the best beer possible. But we can't taste what beer he's making, and they never go into depth of why he says like his brother's beer isn't as good as it should be, or why his beer is better than that. It's just my beer's better, and your beer sucks. That person's beer sucks. My beer's better than that person's. So it's like, all right, your goal is to make the best beer possible and to make this brewery selling the best beer, but what is that? I don't know what that is.
Right.
It's like, there's a detachment because I can't taste that.
Right.
Yeah. At the very least, like they could have set up like a dichotomy of. I keep using that word. It's stupid, but they could have set up the conflict of like Wilhelm likes to brew goofy chocolate bar stouts and things with avocado and things like that, while Adam maintains purity laws of only 4 ingredients. Makes a lot of pilsners and lagers and Belgians like that. Like if they set up that split, it would at least make a little more sense.
Right.
Of like, Wilhelm gets criticized for throwing fucking Skittles in his beer, whereas Adam spends the time sorting through malts. And
that's probably a bit more realistic too.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Beer snobs love their Pilsner.
I feel like some of the general brewery terms and brewing terms and like beer culture terms, like I feel like I need more of those almost. Like when they're describing the beer or they're saying like why this beer is better than the other one. Like I need Adam to be almost throwing those around more in conversation. Or, Wilhelm to be when they're brewing, in episode 1. Right? They're brewing in episode 1, yeah.
Yes.
I want, being like, oh, I'm using, I just wanted like a little more your culture terminology here. Like what kind of hops they're using, or like how, like when they're mashing things. Like there's a little sprinkling, and I think that's where, going back to the league, they threw in so many fantasy football names and so many football terms and so many of those, like in your face. It's like, oh, well, that they actually are like 100% super passionate about, this fantasy league.
Right. That's a very good point. Yeah, it's almost like a couple other things. They sort of half-assed it.
Yeah.
There's like not enough of it, and it's like maybe that's what they were trying not to do, is like give everything, but like I need everything to make these characters like a little more rounded, I guess, within like this beer culture world that they're living in.
Yes.
Yeah, or at least believable, because as far as you can tell right now, Chewie is only slightly less knowledgeable than Adam and Wilhelm. They haven't really,
Yeah.
So I get that.
I think part of that might have to do with like writing teams. It's like, because I don't know the exact history of the writers' room of the league, but this was created by one of these guys, Schaefer, and even the league, there was a drop off of quality towards the end, and like they started to get away from fantasy football as like kind of a storyline towards like the later seasons. So that might have happened when writers' room changed. Maybe younger people came in. Maybe they weren't that interested in fantasy football, so they kind of steered away from that. And this seems like a very low budget show, so I'm assuming these are very, very young writers that maybe doesn't know anything about beer. So they're going on Wikipedia and learning like as much as they can about beer to just kind of pass it off, or maybe they're just going to breweries in Van Nuys or wherever, Malibu, and just getting the bare minimum. It's kind of, we didn't have, like, not to plug my show, but we did an episode of 50 Shades of Grey where Christian Grey was in business, and it was just like, all right, this woman has no idea what business entails. She just Wikipedia'd what kind of like a business looks like, what a guy that runs a tech company might know. And
I'm going to have to listen to that episode because I have a lot of thoughts on 50 Shades of Grey, and they're all terrible.
Well, you know what? We're kind of coming to the close of this episode. So, Anthony, why don't you go ahead and just plug your podcast and everything else?
Yeah. So I'll plug They Call Us a Movie. It's theycallthismovie.podme.com. Our socials are the main Damie. It's the main website. So we watch a terrible movie each week. We used to do it based on new releases, and now we're just kind of, one of us will pick one movie each week. So last week we did Decor, which kind of synced up to Earth Day. So you can listen to us talk about Hilary Swank trying to save the world by shooting nukes at the core of the Earth. So They Call This Movie on any podcast streaming app. Just search for They Called This a Movie, and we should pop right up. That's us.
Right on.
Sweet.
And if you want to find us on social media, all you have to do is search Hop Nation USA, and that'll get you Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. And if you want to listen to brand new episodes of the Hop Nation USA podcast every Friday, as you should, then search Hop Nation USA on your favorite podcatcher like Stitcher, Podbean, Google Music Play, Apple Podcasts. We're on all of them. We're everywhere. Find us. And if you're on any of those platforms, leave us a 5-star review, because
we are a 6 truffle show, but they only let us use avocados.
And that's a bigger crime than 7 more weeks of this. Thankfully, we only have
5 more weeks.
5.
Now, after 3 episodes, I need to ask the question before we go. Will this get renewed for season 2?
Hasn't it already been? But
has it?
I don't know. I felt like it already has been, but
I'd say it depends on how expensive it is to make it.
Yeah, they haven't been pushing the show at all.
No,
not from anything I've seen. But it could be like it's one location, so it's got to be super cheap.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it is an actual brewery, so they do have to shut down. They have to shut down the brewery, I assume, but not every brewery is open every day of the week. So my assumption is that it's going to really depend on how everything comes out of the quarantine. And
once everybody's released.
Yeah, this is something that could easily be swept under the rug as not renewing, and, under the pretense of coronavirus costs and things like that. But Yeah, it's it's a good question. For some reason, I thought it was already renewed, but who knows?
I'll let you review. Yeah, I'll let you review season 2 by yourself.
Nope.
No.
Right along
We are
with
in
us.
this together now,
Damn
Adam.
Fine.
We may we're only doing this as it is right now because of quarantine. We may only keep that to like 1 or 2 weeks.
So, all right, I think that's it. Kelsey, thank you for coming on again.
Thanks for having me. I'm so glad that I could join this evening. Anthony, it was nice to meet you, and it was lovely
nice
to
to meet
see
you.
Adam and Steve's floating head.
It's hypnotic, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's very trippy.
I've
So
achieved.
thank you, everybody. Oh, Steve, what do you?
No, I was just going to say, Kelsey, I've achieved transference. You have to accept that I live in the computer now.
I will accept that. I believe that.
It looks like something that would be in like a villain of the week in Aqua Teen Hunger Force.
Yes, thank you.
Yes. That is spot on.
Wow. Yeah.
So, all right, thank you, everybody. Thank you for joining us on the Hop Nation USA podcast, and we'll see you, or you'll hear us next week.
I said, I
Bye.
think I'll take it.
Cheers.